Yo, what is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we're going to be ranking the best budget cards to buy right now in NBA 2K25 MyTEAM. Basically, the cards you should be buying if you don't have a ridiculous amount of MT, but you're trying to fill spots on your team. Some of these cards, pretty darn cheap. Some of them are a little more expensive. I stretched the meaning of budget a little bit for this video, up to, I don't know, 75-ish thousand MT for the most part, because a lot of these cards are a little bit more expensive than they were, for example, this past weekend. I hope y'all took advantage of the market crash when that happened after Black Friday content, because the auction house has definitely gone back up a good chunk over these past few days, and I do believe it'll continue to at least a little bit. But before we hop into it, if y'all haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Help me push towards the 40,000 subscriber mark on the channel. Uploading every single day. Would really appreciate it if you'll do subscribe. Without further ado, let's hop right into it. First things first, the point guard position is dominated. Caruso is the guy, plain and simple. He is the obvious choice for any of these for the point guard position. And wow, he's gone up a lot. Oh my gosh, this card was like 50k, 86,000 MT for Alex Caruso. That's crazy. And you know what, I will say, I still think he's worth it. Like that's crazy that he's that expensive, but he's still worth it. I mean, for that price point, you're not getting a better point guard in the game, no doubt about it. He is an elite level competitive caliber point guard. He's a versatile elite defender. He's got good size at 6'5", a fast jumper. He's athletic, can finish at the rim. And I mean, I badged mine up. He's got what, 16, 19, 22, 27 total badges, which is pretty solid, pretty complete. Like, he's a really good card. I like Caruso a lot. I know 86,000 MT is pretty expensive. I think that's probably the most expensive card in this list, actually, but he's worth it. And he's significantly better than your other budget point guards. Because in all honesty, if you look at all of the other diamond point guards that are available for a buyout, there really aren't any that are great. Like Ty Lawson, Raymond Felton, Tim Hardaway, Trae Young, Andre Miller, D'Lo. None of those guys are particularly good cards. Now, there is one guy in particular who, if he's still pretty affordable, I would recommend, and that's DeJounte Murray. I don't know exactly how much he is, though. Again, this is a similar issue where with the auction cost going up a bit, I mean, he's still 70-ish thousand MT. Okay, not too bad then. So DeJounte Murray is still pretty affordable. He's the second guy after Caruso. If you're looking for a point guard for a buyout, it's going to be DeJounte Murray. He's your best value there. Only 60,000 MT for the cheapest one on the market right now. Another guy who's versatile defender, decent athlete, got good size at 6'5", can shoot the three ball pretty well. He's also got the Curry escape, which is a nice shot creating sig. He's a solid card, and I think he's the second option. And then the third option is probably Mike Conley. Mike Conley's not quite as good as either of those other two guys, mainly because, number one, he's only 6'1", but he can still dunk pretty well. He's got a really good jumper, and he's got pretty good movement. The problem with him is the low interior at 54 and the lack of size. So he's going to struggle defensively a lot more compared to guys like Caruso and DeJounte. So I definitely think he's the third option, but he's also the cheapest option. And he is a pretty fun offensive card. He's also very affordable, only about 20,000 MT. So really solid card there for that price point. And he's the third option at the point guard position. Shooting guard, you got three really good options, starting with Danny Green, who is an absolute beast of a card. Another guy who's gone up in price, up to about 70,000 MT. I understand it. He was under 50 a few days ago, maybe even under 40. He's a lot more expensive now. But he is a really good card. He's got the Kemba escape. He's a very good defender. He's got a fast jumper. He does a lot of things really well. And if you add like handles for days, lightning launch to him, he can actually play make pretty well because he's got D-book dribble style. He's got a good escape. Like, he does a lot of really good things on the court, and just with a couple playmaking badges added, he becomes a elite 3 and D who can also put the ball on the floor and create some shots as well. Really solid card, and he's a solid slasher as well. If you need a shooting guard, I think he's the number one option right now. Number two would be Doug Christie, who's a little bit cheaper, still really good. I think that Danny's a little bit better, but Doug Christie's not far off, and some people might even argue he's better. Also, 47 KMT is a very valid price for him, considering half interceptor, half move ball, half on ball menace, 3 incredible defensive hoffs. He's got the Pro 2 fade. He's got a smooth jumper, and he's got a really solid ability to slash as well. Very similar card to Danny Green, probably not quite the same sigs, but he's got a better fade. He's as good as defensively. Really good card. Still being used by a lot of people, and for good reason. Really good option. And then number 3 would be Corey Maggette, who is similar. Corey's a little bit more of just a shooter, also a little bit more athletic in terms of his attacking the rim. But again, pretty affordable, mid 50,000 MT-ish right now. When you look at the badges, he's got half posterizer, off ball pass, physical finisher, set shot specialist. He's got an incredible release. I think he's probably the best shooter of all this whole group just because of how incredible his jumper is. He's also the most athletic, but he is probably the worst defender of the three between Danny Green, Doug Christie, and him. So all three of them are good. All three of them give you slightly different things. If you need a little bit more of a playmaker, Danny Green's probably your guy. If you need a little bit more defense, maybe Doug Christie. And if you need a little more versatility, shot creation, slashing, Corey Maggette. All three are great cards, though, for a buyout. Definitely worthwhile choices Number three, or sorry, at the three, I should say, is going to be, there's a few good options here as well. I will say none of these guys are like noticeably better than the rest. I think all three of these guys will get the job done at a high level. As my dog just barked in the background. Whoops. Point being though, Jalen Johnson is the one I'll start with. About 57,000 MT, 60K right now for a guy who's 6'8", has a smooth jumper, dunks the ball well, pretty versatile defender. Yes, the steal rating is low, but everything else is really good. Got decent speed. 7 hops include posterizer, pogo stick, rebound chaser, layup, mix master, layup, physical finisher, set shot specialist, strong handle. 28 badges, I believe, is a base card. No, sorry, he's got 23 as a total card. With 5 added, it's 28. But really good card. Definitely a super solid option at the small forward position if you want an affordable small forward. Another guy who I think is pretty darn solid, maybe a little bit more expensive, but not by a ton, is Steven Jackson, who's going for around, it looks like 70,000 MT right now. And stack is, I mean, I did a gameplay with him yesterday. He's got a smooth jumper. He's a solid defender. He's a very good slasher. He is pretty versatile card. Doesn't have great shot creation, but he's a solid card. Like, he slashes well, he shoots well, he defends pretty well. He's got good speed. He's got good vert. Low strength rating isn't ideal, but he's a solid card. And again, just if you need a small forward, he will fulfill your needs at the small forward position and compete against higher tier cards. And then the third guy is Jalen Williams, who I will say J-Dub is really, really, really good offensively for a small forward. Very smooth jumper, Darius Garland dribble style, good drag back, all that. Defensively, he's a little bit more meh. Not because the stats are bad. The stats are very solid. They're not like unbelievable, but they're very good. It's just at 6'5", he's a little small. That's really the main complaint I have with this card, but he's an elite shooter. He is a versatile defender and a good defender. And I think he's a very solid card. I really do. I think he's a stud. And if you need a small forward, Jalen Williams is a great option. Steven Jackson's is a great option. Jalen Johnson's a great option. All three of those guys are really, really good. Moving on to the power forward position. The best power forward that I think you can buy for a budget right now is not even a debate. It's this AC Green card. He is absolutely phenomenal and very slept on. A guy you can get for around 50,000 MT, maybe even a little bit cheaper like this one. Off-post lockdown, interceptor, rebound chaser, on-ball menace, paint patroller. He's got elite interior and perimeter defensive ability. He's a phenomenal defender, and he's got D-Book's base with a good upper on his jumper. So he's a cash shooter, good slasher, just a solid all-around offensive card, and then an elite level defender who's going to guard on the perimeter and the interior at a really high level as a 6'9" power forward. Good rebounder, good speed, good vert, good strength, like really, really good card. This card could 100% compete at the highest competitive level. He's a stud, and this is the guy to get if you need a power forward right now. I don't even think it's all that debatable, but there are a couple other good power forwards for sure. Like, for example, Al Harrington, another really good card. He's not as good defensively as AC Green is, and he's also more expensive. So again, I would definitely lean towards AC Green. This one's got 6 hops actually instead of 3. But generally, he only has 2 hops generally base-wise. 80,000 MT is a little more expensive than most of the cards in this list, yes, but he's an elite level shooter. He's got really solid all-around badges. I mean, even as this is a base Al Harrington. He's got a paint patroller, strong handle, a shifty shooter, on-ball menace, immovable enforcer, brick wall, rebound chaser, off-ball pass, post lockdown, box out base, rebound chaser, break starter, bailout, limitless. Like everything you want on a power forward on the interior, a little bit of perimeter defense, super solid all-around stats where he's a great shooter, good dunker, versatile defender, good speed, good vert, good strength, great stamina, like everything you want. Very, very solid card. Still think he can definitely compete at a competitive level as well. So another really good option there. And then the third guy on this list at the power forward position is going to be Danny Manning, who is another 6'10" power forward who's very complete stat and badge wise. Again, does a lot of things well. 6 hops, 22 gold badges. You get 29 total base badges, including posterizer, post lockdown, off ball pass, rebound chaser, and a lot of good gold badges as well. Like very versatile defense, has got set shot specialist, lightning launch. When you look at the badges, I mean, it wouldn't hurt to add a couple more playmaking and shooting badges. Mainly, it would be my thing, but overall, he's really complete as a base card. He's a good shooter, versatile dunker. Again, complete defender, does everything well. Good speed, good rebounder, like whatever you need. Danny Manning will give you at a high level. Another very, very solid card. And then we move on to the center position, who I believe, in my personal opinion, the best center you could get for around 100K MT right now is Jared Allen. I will say this is a tougher one for sure. Like 86,000 MT. Again, he's right up there with Caruso for the most expensive card on this list. He's only 6'9", but he does have an afro that makes him look like 6'11". He's an elite finisher, and he's a very, very good defender. And he's actually a really good shooter. He's got a very nice, smooth, fast release, decent 3-ball rating, super good dunker, super good defender, super good rebounder, good speed for a big as well. I understand he's a little undersized. I still think he's a really good card. I think Jared Allen's a great option at the center position. And then also Brad Daugherty, another diamond center who's also a very good card. Now, Brad Daugherty only has a 55 3-ball, but similarly to Jared Allen, has a really good jumper. Now, is that too low of a 3-ball to green? You would think so, but honestly, no, it's not. He's pretty knocked down. especially with the stick. 90 standing and 85 driving dunk, 95 block, 95 interior, 83 perimeter. Good speed. Again, he's a 7-footer. He's very good on the interior defensively. Really, really solid card in his own right. A great inside big who can step out and hit a 3 as well. I think Brad Daugherty's super solid. I have no issues with him whatsoever if you use him at the center position. And the last center on this list is the only amethyst on this list, actually, which is going to be DeAndre Ayton, who has gone up in price. Looks like he's in the 30,000s of MT now instead of the high 30s, actually, instead of being about 20K, which is what he was when he first came out. But off Rise Up and Paint Patroller, bunch of good gold interior badges for a big as well. And his release is a little odd, but it's honestly very smooth and easy to green. He's got size. He's got a big player build. He defends. He rebounds. He does what you need, and he's got enough speed as well at the center position to compete. Super solid option. No issues with him as well if you need a center. And that is going to do it. Gave y'all 15 of the best budget cards on my team, 3 guys at each position to consider if you are in need of picking some players up. Hopefully this video does help y'all out. If so, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon. I appreciate y'all. Peace.